Kirk, just talk about what you saw from your ball club tonight.
It was really good to see Isaac Cadena take really two awesome swings on a night where, you didn't think many balls would get out. That's how hard he hit that ball, kept it under the wind, and really awesome to see that from him. And then, I thought from a pitching staff standpoint, a bunch of guys got out there, but I think Cohen Feser, was the story in terms of the end of the game, going 3 clean innings, and Lukashin get into a bases loaded mess, and then punching out the side to be able to get out of it. I thought that was pretty gutty. Still too many. I don't mind the Sam Myers, him getting picked off. You're either going to get picked off, you're trying to steal the base, and so we're taking a gamble on that one. But the other two, we're just not being smart enough in terms of being aggressive with smarts. To be honest with you, we're giving up way too many outs on the base pass. There's a part of it that is being aggressive, and there's a part of it that's being reckless. And I think we're reckless right now in terms of some of our decisions. And we want to play aggressively. You don't want to take the aggressiveness out of them. But we got to be better in terms of not giving up outs on the base pass.
Trevor Balmar only pitched one inning tonight. Is everything okay with him?
Yeah, no, he was great. The plan all along was to go Trevor for one. With BYU coming in, we're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, if it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe he goes a little bit longer because you have Tommy Lepore starting on Friday. But we're going to leave Tommy on Friday, and we're going to leave Cadena on Saturday. We don't want to move those two guys up. Feel like they're in a pretty good rhythm right now in terms of Friday, and then Cadena coming back, and didn't want his second outing to be moved up a day. So, and we'll figure out in terms of what we're going to do on Thursday. But with we wanted Trevor to be available. He threw the ball extremely well last week, and was awesome again in terms of his 3-batter space today. We wanted to make sure that he was going to be available for Thursday.
Speaking of availability, you got Preston Gamester back this weekend, and he started today. Just what have you seen from him?
Well, he made a couple really good plays. The one ball got stuck in his glove, in the webbing of his glove. He made a great play on that. But it's good to see him. I'm sure the question probably is, where's Stroh-Snyder? Banged his shoulder up on that the second slide at home plate on, I think it was, Saturday against Houston, and he got it all looked at, and came back pretty clean, and so we feel good about him being available starting on Thursday. So he's been swinging the bat offensively really well. But we didn't want to take any risks with him. We had to make sure that he's doing fine, and hopefully we get him back in there on Thursday.
Colton Griffin,
he's pretty close, yeah. Did baseball activities over the weekend when he was back here, and then obviously BP today, and he's getting closer. I'm not sure when he's going to be available, but he's definitely getting a lot closer, which will be nice.
UTSA has kind of been really good in the midweeks, with wins against Texas A&M and Texas. How good is it for your ball club to eventually handle business against a team like that?
Well, the guy in the 9th inning was their Friday night starter. It's his bullpen day, and so I think that's kind of what they do, is use his bullpen in the game, and they do a really good job. They're well coached by Coach Hallmark, and they ran out some pretty good arms, and in the 9th inning to be able to, Carson, with the wind playing the way it was, I think the right fielder got turned around a little bit because everything was getting knocked down. That just tells you how hard Carson hit it. So, they've done a really good job, not only just during the weekends, but like you said, during the midweek. So I think they're like 23-8 and have a pretty good RPI. So, these Tuesday games that we have are very pivotal in terms of, maybe getting some guys that haven't pitched a lot in, but also, with the determination of, we got to go out and try and figure out a way to win on these midweek games, because all the teams that we're playing are pretty good.
Yeah, I believe you haven't lost since Tuesday
thanks,
at midnight.
I appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
Thanks.
But look at that. You gotta feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about in terms of the way we played, and Tuesday, like I said, Tuesdays are big games because you can either continue the momentum from a weekend, or I think a couple weeks ago when we had, I think maybe it was UT or maybe it was Air Force. We were coming off a a tough weekend against, I think, Southern Miss, and then to play Tuesday, Wednesday game, kind of get the bad taste out of your mouth. So I think Tuesday games are huge in terms of what you put forth in terms of your resume, and making sure, and our guys are ready to play every game, but having these Tuesday games against really good opponents. I think we only have 3 left, 2 against UTA and 1 against DBU. So, which is crazy to think because we're already halfway through the season and only have about 3 midweek games left.
When you think about the Thursday through Saturday instead of Friday, Sunday, how disruptive is that? Do you prefer it?
I mean, it's a little bit disruptive. I wish we would play UCF. I wish we would play BYU next week, because we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday against BYU, and then we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Kansas, and then we go back to Thursday, Friday, Saturday against UCF for Easter weekend. So I think it's a distinct advantage for BYU, in all honesty, just because they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday every single week, and we have to move our kind of juggle our rotation around for the most part, where they never have to. They're only playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so they're Thursday guys, they're Thursday guy, and so on, where every opponent that they play has to make some sort of change. But that's the way it is, that they're in our conference. Zero excuse, and looking forward to a good BYU. They've been playing really good. I think they're up in Tulsa right now playing Oral Roberts. I'm not sure how they did, but they've been playing really good.
All right, Isaac, swung the bat really well tonight. Just talk about the rhythm that you got into on that home run and that double.
Yeah, so Coach Mo had texted me. Last week we had a hitting session, and that didn't really do much in terms of the outcomes of it. So he texted me yesterday on the way home, and he was like, "We got a new plan of action. We're gonna try this." So basically, just had me slow everything down, start a lot earlier. First couple at bats, I was still late. Like the first swing I had, I was still late. I think that ball was like in the middle, down the middle, and I hit it straight to third. So just kind of like really focusing on just starting super slow and getting my timing a little bit better.
Like I mentioned, the coach, UTSA, pretty good in the midweek. How encouraging is it for you and the guys to get a win against them tonight?
Yeah, it's super like good for us because, like you said, they're really good. They beat really good teams. So kind of knowing that going into the games, like, okay, we can't not take them lightly, but they're a really good team. So getting a win and a win like that really, I think, puts us in a good spot to go into the weekend.
Bounced around positionally a little bit this year, caught first base, both corner outfield spots, made a really nice play out in right field tonight. How comfortable are you kind of just moving around on the diamond?
I'd say I'm pretty comfortable. In high school, I played outfield. Last year, I was outfield. Like I would say, like in order of the positions that I would rank myself, I'd say I'm more outfield than I am anything else. This is the first year playing first base, so honestly, it's more of like wherever I can help the team most. And if that's in right field while Stroh's taking a break, or left field, or first base, or not playing, whatever helps the team. So I'd say I'm pretty comfortable out there. I get to, during BP, wherever I'm playing, get to go feel out the position. So.
All right, Cohen, talk us through the outing. You were pretty big in those 7th and 8th innings tonight. Just talk about, and the 9th, just talk about your outing.
Yeah, I was just glad to get the opportunity to go out and contribute to get that win, because that's a crucial win on that Tuesday game. So I was happy to go out. He said we were gonna, his words, picket fence it, so like kind of a bullpen game. So I kind of went out there and was kind of just letting it eat a little bit. I don't know what I hit up there, but ran out of steam a little bit towards the 2nd and 3rd, but I was able to get it done, so I'm glad for that.
I was going to ask, you touched 94 with the fastball today, and I know that being out last year and working your way back, has velocity been something that you've tracked as you've kind of worked your way back to full health?
Oh, without a doubt. Velocity is a huge factor when it comes to like rehab. I'm always like, in the rehab process, it's always 20 throws, something like that, and it's like you're gunning. So you have like a little range where it's like, oh, you're throwing 74 miles an hour today, and you got to stay in that range. But like now, I'm not so much as worried for velocity, because it's just like go out there and just produce and contribute to the team.
Seems like tonight you really had your off speeds working. Had a couple guys freezing. How much do you trust some of your off speed pitches?
Oh, I love my off-speed pitches. I think I'm throwing those more than my fastball by a large amount, so I'm enjoying throwing those, that's for sure.
What Do you have any message for guys like Bixby and Shin when they kind of wiggle out of some jams there earlier in the game?
I think that's huge. I mean, it definitely helps the back half of the bullpen because that just saves another arm going into the game. So it's definitely crucial there.
Speaking of huge, the way you guys won that game tonight, is that gonna, how's that gonna go into the weekend?
I mean, team morale is going to be at an all-time high. So I'm excited to go into the BYU weekend.